A replica of Noah's Ark, or whatever someone thinks Noah's Ark is on the verge of being sold to the highest bidder. And I know what you're thinking. The Satanic Temple has the opportunity to do the funniest thing imaginable. More on that in a second. But don't get your hopes up too much. I am not talking about the one in Kentucky. Here's the story, and I'm going to show you a picture of the thing I am referring to here. This is the ark that is being sold. I mean, it looks fine. It looks like a boat. That's the extent of my boat knowledge. But here's the story behind what happened, okay? In 2005, a Dutch carpenter, his name is Johan Huibers, he began building what he hoped would be a life-size version of the Christian myth. You could see a story right here from BBC back in 2006. This guy wanted to build a modern Noah's Ark. In case you're curious, the answer's in Genesis 1 that's in Kentucky. That was opened up in 2016. So this predated the one that eventually became more famous. But this guy, Johan, he wanted to build a life-size version of the boat. It was kind of intriguing as a thing. Like, what exactly are you trying to do here? We haven't seen anything like this really at the time. And so he wanted to do it in 2005. He opened it in 2007, and he wanted to make clear it was never meant to be biblically accurate, whatever the hell that means, because the Bible isn't accurate. But in terms of his boat, it meant it's only a fifth of the size that Noah supposedly made his ark. It had Johan's boat was made of more modern wood. It carried only farmyard animals, like not enough to repopulate the earth, but like a few chickens to make you think there are animals here. And also, even though in the Bible it says the ark was like 3 stories tall, Johan was trying to make do with a very limited amount of space, so he made it 7 stories tall, kind of like Noah's skyscraper, not exactly the boat he made. But the point is, yeah, the guy cut corners. He didn't hide that. He said he wanted to give you the vibe of Noah's Ark because the goal was trying to show you, see, something like this could have been made. So now you will believe in the book of Genesis and therefore the rest of the Bible. All right, fine. And he also had something to say to all the critics who are like, this is not what Noah made. You got the specs wrong. He's like, if you're the sort of person who thinks that my boat doesn't match up to the real boat, which is in the Bible, which you apparently know a lot about, you're probably already a believer since you know all that stuff. And I'm not trying to reach you. I'm trying to get all the people who don't know the story and who need to be proselytized to. Little did he know, like, atheists know a lot of details about the ship. Now, how much did that boat cost? It cost him over 1.2 million US dollars. And he needed to take out bank loans to make this thing happen. Which, by the way, kind of a good deal in the sense that the Kentucky boat that Ken Ham made later, that cost over $100 million. And it's not good economically for the city at all in the long term anyway. So the other reason this Johan guy had to make his boat much, much smaller is that he actually wanted it to be a floating museum. He wanted to drive it everywhere on the sea so everyone could see it. And the only way you can cross Dutch canals is by having a boat of a smaller size. So that's amusing. If you want the actual size, his boat was about 70 meters long. Ken Ham's is closer to like, I think 140, 150 meters wide or something like that. So it's not even half the length of what Ken Ham made. So anyway, the guy makes his boat. I don't know, some people got a kick out of it. It was great for clickbait. And in 2010, Johan sold that boat to another dude. I'm going to come back to that a little later, but he sold it off because he had a new vision from God. And now he wanted to make a boat that was even bigger. He wanted to make a boat that wasn't 70 meters long. It was 122 meters long. And this one, Arc 2.0, this one took about 5 years for him to build. It cost over $4.2 million US dollars. And this one opened in 2012. And again, I'm going to show you a picture. This picture that I'm sharing with you here, this is Ark 2.0. It's the bigger version of the ship. But here's the thing. He opened it up in 2012. By 2016, everyone was over it. No one cared. No one really wanted to hang out in this dude's creepy boat. It just kind of sat there unused for a long while. And now, here's the interesting news. He wants to pawn it off on someone. This is what he said to a local newspaper. This is translated into English, but we've been trying to find another partner for 8.5 years now, and I have traveled all over the world from South Korea to Brazil. But unfortunately, it has not yielded anything so far. The Ark has been idle for the past few years, and I feel the responsibility to ensure that it comes back to life. Okay, fine. So he wants to get rid of it. So let me show you this Dutch eBay clone website. Here's the boat with a very scenic looking thing that it doesn't look like that at all. But there's the museum ship Ark von Noah. And you could see the auction ends, as you could see up there, on December 18th. The starting bid was 350,000. I assume that's euro. 350. It is now at 365,000 euro. I don't know who's making the bids. I don't know if they're pranksters or if they're legit, though I assume this is one of those serious websites where you have to provide, like, you're basically signing a contract saying you're going to take this if you win. But I don't know who's winning this auction right now. And I did have the thought, maybe the Satanic Temple wants to get in on this if they can get the money somehow. But Johan is one step ahead of us here. He actually said to a local paper, he hoped a new owner would continue to use the Ark as a way to spread a message of faith, hope, love, and perseverance. If they want to turn it into a brothel, I'm not selling. Which is such a weirdly specific thing that I was not thinking about. But honestly, now that he mentions it, turning the boat into a place where people enjoy the act that is used to repopulate the earth, I don't know. I think that seems kind of appropriate, don't you? So I don't know what the winning bidder is going to do. I don't know if they're going to refurbish it and then take it back out onto the sea. Who knows? But at this point, after everything he's put everybody through, I think he might deserve to be saddled with this boat for life. You made it, you built it, you buy it, it's yours, you deal with it. Why don't you deconstruct the boat and sell off the lumber? I don't know. One quick side note about all this. So anyway, if anyone has 400,000 euros sitting around doing nothing, I don't know, and you know how to drive a giant Ark, you have your work cut out for you. You have a few more days to get in on this auction. I want to really quickly go back to Ark 1.0. This is the boat that Johan built first, and then in 2010 he sold it off to another guy. That's the reason. The fact that he sold it off to another guy is the reason I've heard of this dude. Why? Because after he sold the boat, the guy who took it over and decided to actually use it as a traveling Bible museum, it quickly became a punchline because of all the problems it has. For example, in 2018, Ark 1.0 was like docked in some harbor somewhere in the Netherlands, and there was a storm, and it broke free of its ropes and then crashed into what I can only assume are all the rich people's yachts. And look at this glorious picture here. I have no idea what this says, but the Ark is drifting, I think, maybe. Look at this. Look at this. There's Ark 1.0. And it's just crashing into everything. It's an ugly boat, and it's crashing into all these rich people's yachts or whatever the hell those are, and it's so damn funny. So that's what happened in 2018 with the boat. At the time, the new owner told the paper, this has never happened before. Which is interesting and very ironic given that, hey, that's kind of the slogan for the entire boat. But after the crash of 18, whatever, the Ark went back into service and it reopened and it made its way to England. They took this boat, they made it traverse the ocean to England, and it was docked there in 2019 in the city of Ipswich. But get this, after it was there, they made it stay there because the British government's Maritime and Coast Guard Agency basically said this boat is too unsafe to go anywhere. Look at this. They basically, it's like driving a car, but the brakes are broken and nothing works. Like, they don't want you taking it out on the road. And what the government here said, it cannot sail under a Dutch flag despite being registered there. Key certification is missing. And since April 1st, the vessel has been accruing a fine of £500 a day. And I think there was one other thing here. The report seen by this newspaper suggests the Ark arrived with legally required load line certificates missing, bad paperwork, no tonnage information, and a range of other concerns, such as overdue services for fire equipment, life jackets, and life crafts. So England's like, I know you want to take this back to the Netherlands. We can't allow you to do that because this boat is too dangerous for whoever's on it. And it was just stuck in England at that point. Like, the Ark became a literal safety hazard, which is kind of the funniest thing that could have happened to it. And it wasn't allowed to leave the port until 2021 when it finally returned to the Netherlands. And it is now docked there, I think permanently, in some city I cannot pronounce. But that's what happened to Ark 1.0, the smaller boat. And now 2.0 is on sale to the highest bidder. That's it. Who wants to bid? Should we take up a GoFundMe? I don't know. We only got a few days. I don't think I can raise that much. Anyway, I'll take questions about that because it's hilarious. Lady Merlin, thank you for that donation. When you have to shell out tons of money to acquire the materials alone, it kind of disproves your point of a few men being able to do that themselves. Right? Of all the many reasons Noah's Ark didn't happen, the cost of lumber is kind of an obvious one. And the amount of time it would have taken to build a bigger boat. And I'm pretty sure Noah's Ark would have had the proper paperwork and certification, I assume. If we pooled our money and turned that into a cruise ship, we could make a ton of money off of Christians, right? Noah's Ark cruise ship, animals everywhere. The kids would love it. I mean, good luck with the bathrooms there, but at least, I mean, there's got to be a bunch of ways to use a boat. I wouldn't know. I'm in the middle of flatness and ground, but I assume that sounds like a great idea. I hope whoever wins does something fun with it. There's so many options here. Would you go if it was a casino with a nightclub? Ooh, that sounds amazing. I will bet like $200 and a copy of like a Trump Bible or something. We could do that. I'm in. I'm so good at poker. Let's go. I'm in. I actually want to see it turned into a barn or chicken coop, maybe a cat sanctuary, something dumb, land-based, and actually helping animals. That would be nice. Like, the museum's not helping people, so something like that could actually make it into something useful. That would be very nice. I like it. Can't even tell whether €365 is cheap or not for this. To be clear, 365,000 euro, which I don't know, given the rate the American economy is going, that's probably like $17 million at this point. I don't do conversion rates, but $500,000 eventually, maybe, is where this auction will end. I don't know. If you know anything about auctions, it just kind of stays steady for a while, and at the last second, all the bids come in, trying to beat each other before anyone else can jump in. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. All right. It's about $1/3 million. So, I mean, not chump change. All right. Oh, this happened at the end of last week, and we didn't get around to these because they came after we had basically logged off. But thank you to these super chats. And Dusty Dark Horse points out late to the party this week, wondering if the consequences of Trump 2.0 will drive only Trump voters, the ones who didn't vote for anybody else who was Republican, to say fuck it in future elections. I don't know if that'd be good or not. I will tell you, I think there's a lot to that theory that if Trump's not at the top of the ballot, Republicans are going to lose a lot of supporters because a lot of these people, for very dumb reasons, really like Trump. But if, let's say, JD Vance was at the top of the ticket, they would say, "You're not Trump," and they would walk away. Like, their loyalty is not to the Republican Party. Their loyalty is to Trump because he runs a very tight cult right now. So now, will it be good enough for Democrats to take advantage of it? Not the Democratic Party as of today, because they're just making dumb decisions left and right now, and they have no idea what to do. But I don't think Republicans. I don't think Republicans have thought about a future where Trump is not the only guy who matters in their party. They're not building a bench of people who can replicate what he's doing. So, yay, but also none of this will matter until the world's on fire and he screws over the country. So, I don't know. And thank you, Storm Chaser Patrick, for that donation. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever the hell you all want me to say as well. So, thank you for that. I appreciate it.